This is Southern Cross News with Rachel Williams.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Federal authorities are ramping up their response to deadly influenza outbreaks, with the Health Minister announcing compulsory vaccinations for aged care workers. Flu outbreaks have hit 21 Tasmanian aged care centres this year. At one facility in Latrobe, 6 people have died. Our health system is also under pressure tonight, with another cluster confirmed.
The Beaconsfield District Health Service is the latest facility battling an influenza outbreak. Authorities confirming 9 patients have been hit with flu-like symptoms, while several staff are also affected. The Tasmanian Health Service says it's a common occurrence at this time of year, but can have serious implications for already frail and vulnerable people.
People that are vulnerable can be very susceptible to the flu. So with regards to the protocols around it, we're confident in the way that the Commonwealth is treating this. It's being fully supported by the THS.
The facility has implemented measures to help stop the spread of infection. This includes additional cleaning staff, patient isolation, and also members of the public are being urged to stay away unless absolutely necessary.
I would like to urge all Tasmanians to make sure that they do take the appropriate precautions when it comes to flu, because as we've seen, it can have devastating consequences.
It's the latest in a string of outbreaks. 6 residents with influenza A at Latrobe's Strathdevon Aged Care Facility died during an outbreak last month. This incident and another deadly outbreak in Victoria is prompting federal intervention.
The Commonwealth will move in conjunction with the states and the medical authorities and the Council of the Ageing to ensure that all aged care workers are given flu vaccines before next year's flu season.
Those in the sector say there will be hurdles to its implementation, like forcing staff to comply and the question of who bears the cost.
I think it's something we all need to work through. We want to ensure that people are protected, so I think we all want the same thing, but we've got to make sure that it's practical, it's achievable.
It's about giving the best coverage and the best protection for our elderly citizens in nursing homes and aged care facilities.
But for this current flu season, the wider community is being urged to take precautions to protect our most vulnerable.
Everyone that that might have the flu, really important message: stay away from people that are vulnerable. Best thing you can really do is stay at home in bed.
The federal government has ordered a review of the nursing home outbreaks. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A freight ship carrying cattle had to be towed to Stanley Harbour this morning after running aground on a nearby reef. Biosecurity officers found the cattle on board to be in good health following an inspection. The 5 crew members on the Statesman were uninjured. Marine and Safety Tasmania will investigate the incident. The tourism industry is welcoming the results of a new survey that shows Tasmania is red hot among Australia's Chinese community. The research by Sydney company Red Elephant rates the state just in front of tropical Queensland and miles ahead of the South Australian wine region.
The Tourism Industry Council is pleasantly surprised to be at the top of another national survey. Luke Martin says Tasmania is already big among foodies and hipsters. Now our clean air and produce is also making waves among Chinese Australians, with 23% of those polled naming us as their destination of choice.
It's a really exciting group of numbers, because you think about there are 500,000 Chinese Australians living in the country, and the fact that we're so strong with them bodes well not just for their visitation to Tasmania but also their network of family and friends that come into Australia.
The state government says it also bodes well for its plan to increase visitor numbers to 1.5 million annually by 2020.
We're spending a lot of time and energy with regards to training. We want to see that we have more Tasmanians employed in the tourism and hospitality industry, and we want Tasmania to be as welcoming as possible for tourists, no matter where they come from.
And business is booming according to tourism operators, with visitors spending up big on both Tasmanian-made goods and uniquely Tasmanian experiences.
It shows we're doing a few things really right, and I think it probably reaffirms that we don't really need to reset too much of what we're doing. We just need to keep doing what we do and make it better.
Tassie's definitely open for business. We love Chinese visiting from all around the world and Australia, and looking forward to more.
Andrew McCarthy, Southern Cross News.
Residents and businesses have just 1 week left to have their say on the state government's proposed Taswater takeover. Submissions can be made to an upper house inquiry looking into the matter.
When that inquiry does report to Parliament, we will read those recommendations with great interest.
Under the state government's plan, Taswater will become a government enterprise instead of being jointly owned by 29 separate councils. A new chapter is being added to the iconic 1967 state football final. After the game ended in controversial circumstances, an out-of-control crowd brought down the goalposts and North Hobart players tried to take them home on a train. At the time they failed, but now old teammates are creating the ending they always wanted.
It took 50 years, but the great goalpost heist is finally complete. On this train, every heart beats true for the red and the blue. These are the North Hobart footballers who played in one of Tasmania's most famous matches, the 1967 state premiership against Wynyard at West Park, where a contentious mark on the siren caused a riot.
The siren has apparently gone while we haven't heard the crowd have come onto the ground.
The goalposts were torn down and one was loaded onto a train bound for Hobart.
Not long after that, the police arrived. Came on the train. There were 30 to 40 people sitting on the train watching the policeman come through the gate. Right, fellows, where's the point post? 40 people say, we don't know.
Of course they did know, and the police confiscated the post. 50 years on and the players are finishing the story their way, aboard a Tasman Limited train just like the one they had on the day, with a post from West Park. At last, these great mates bring their treasure home.
A finalisation of this saga and at least let Wynyard know that we have their post.
Although the 67 final ended without a winner, it is now part of Tasmanian football's Hall of Fame, while the ball from that match has been kept safe since those chaotic last moments.
If we can get together and have a good laugh over football and hopefully get North Hobart colours back and the North Hobart club back, well, we've done our job.
There is a hunger among all of these former players to revive the club's original identity.
This means everything to the old players and the people of North Hobart to see us come back as North Hobart and in the red and blue.
But for now, this piece of football history can become just that. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
Beautiful handcrafted quilts have adorned Launceston's Albert Hall for the Tasmanian Quilting Guild's annual exhibition. More than 250 intricate designs were on display, with a selection judged by an expert panel. Best in Show was put together by Hobart's Catherine Jones. Organisers were impressed by its attention to detail.
This winning quilt took 450 to 500 hours to make. It was made in sections and quilted on a domestic sewing machine.
The majority of quilts were made from cotton, although a handful of entries opted for silk.
Hello. Hobart reached 20 today, 15 for both Launceston and Burnie, and 14 in Devonport. 22 was the state's high today, recorded on Flinders Island. 21 at Friendly Beaches, 19 at Maria Island, Grove and Bushy Park. 17 for St Helens, Low Head and Wynyard both 15 today, 14 for King Island, 13 in Strawn. Lyweenie staying in single digits, just 6 degrees. To the satellite, and a frontal band of cloud is crossing Tasmania and Victoria. Low-level cloud is heading onshore to coastal areas about the south of Australia, but the remainder of the country is predominantly cloud-free under that high ridge of pressure there. On the close-up, we can see that frontal band of cloud crossing the state, followed by a stream of open cellular convective cloud behind the front. Looking to tomorrow, and there is a strong westerly flow over Tasmania behind a cold front with a trough approaching the west coast. A high over Western Australia extends a ridge into Central Australia. To coastal waters, west to northwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 knots about the north at times. Seas 2 to 4 metres. Some wild weather across the state tomorrow, with a gale warning for northern coastal waters from Sandy Cape to Stanley and from Flinders Island to St Helens Point. A strong wind warning for remaining southern, western and northern coastal waters from Tasman Island to Wineglass Bay. A warning to sheep graziers is current for all grazing districts. A bushwalkers weather alert is current for western and central forecast districts. And lastly, a road weather alert is current for snow on roads above 200 metres. Tomorrow, showers and 11 for Hobart, 10 degrees for Dover and Ouse. Showers and windy for both Launceston and Devonport, 11 degrees. Scottsdale showers, 9. Burnie 11 and showers. Strawn showers and 9. Stanley also some showers, 10 degrees. On the east coast, windy with a shower or two for St Helens, 12. Swansea 13 with a possible shower. A shower or two for Ross, 10 degrees. Looking ahead to Tuesday now, fine on the east coast with showers elsewhere, snow falling to 400 metres in the east and 200 metres in the west during the afternoon and evening. Showers mainly about the west and far south on Wednesday, and Thursday showers about the west and far south extending statewide in the afternoon. A look around the rest of the country now. Sunny weather for Brisbane, 31 degrees. Sydney, Cairns, Darwin and Perth also sunny. Showers for Canberra and Adelaide, and shower or two for Melbourne, 12 degrees.
That's all your news for now. Thanks for joining us. Good night.